Hey, what's going on, guys? OJ back here with another video. Today, I'm here to bring you the zestiest fighters here in the UFC. I always say that being zesty is one of the best bases for MMA, and I think a lot of the fighters on this list will prove that. So, in a few seconds, I'll have a set of tiers for you, just ranking how zesty each of these fighters are. And without wasting any more time, let's jump right into the video. Alright, first on our list, we got John Sexual Chocolate Jones. I think this is pretty straightforward. He's out here in Thailand right now, stiffing other men's hair for no reason, while riding on their motorcycles, like a girlfriend would after you get out of the shower. And even before then, he got caught sexually harassing a gay comedian, and he's been spotted at a few gay clubs here and there. He's been pulled over by the police and John Jones had to explain that he was helping out the homeless people. But yeah, there's a lot of evidence pointing towards John Jones being homosexual. And it's also convenient that all of his violent crimes only have to deal with women. Conveniently, he's also the greatest mixed martial artist of all time, according to some people's eyes. And I think there's a correlation with that? So I'm gonna say that John Jones, he's very zesty, and there's a lot of evidence surrounding as to why it is. And if anything, John Jones kind of proves why being zesty is one of the best bases for MMA. All right, moving on, we got caught in 4K, Mr. Baldy Dana White. What? This question? Did I get railed by John Jones last night? Come on, guys. Yeah, I mean, how can you not believe that Jon Jones is the pound for pound best fighter on the planet? Oh yeah, Dana White, I think is pretty self-explanatory. This dude, I don't know what his obsession is with Jon Jones. Like, for some reason, Jon Jones is allowed to trample all over Dana White for some reason. Like the only thing uh Dana White loves more than Jon Jones is money, which is the only reason why Jon Jones hasn't been paid like 50 million or some ridiculous some like that. But the point I'm trying to make is that Dana White has publicly expressed his love for Jon Jones. I won't be surprised if Jon Jones has kept some pictures of them together, which is why Dana White is very reluctant to punish Jon Jones in any way, shape, or form. And I think once Jon Jones retires, I think the photos will be leaked, and Dana White will probably have to resign from his company because chances are they're very bad photos. I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything that's concrete. I'm just saying that Dana White, for some reason, will go out of his way to glaze Jon Jones any chance he gets. All right. Moving on, we got Jordan Levitt. The dude is pretty zesty. I mean, if you're twerking as your octagon celebration, I think there's a certain level of zest to what you're doing. Again, he has a smoking hot wife. I think he's been expressing that he's straight. It's just that he does have some zesty moments, that are caught on 4K, like doing full splits, twerking on camera again, and I think it's more of a joke, but there is some zest to what he's doing, so we'll leave it at that. Right, up next, we got Merab Divalishvili. Hey! One more thing, you guys. Aljamain Sterling is the best fighter on the planet right now. Oh, yeah, like this dude just loves the glaze Aljamain Sterling. And now, fair enough, they are training partners. It's probably more because Aljamain Sterling is a good friend and training partner of Merab. But at the same time, Merab will go out of his way to glaze Aljamain Sterling in situations where he doesn't need to. So there's a lot of moments like that in Aljamain Sterling's career, and overall, I think it's a little bit excessive, but fair enough. He is like, I guess they're training partners, so it's somewhat excusable. And moving on to the baby tier, we got Manel Cap, the based chef himself. He called Kaikar France and the city kickboxing team a bunch of F words that are that is used as a derogatory slur for homosexuals. Yeah, he is not found of the zesty people whatsoever. I think he's an avid eugenics supporter as well. So there is that. And overall, I think it does. I think he is fun to watch. It's like regardless of his what he says about certain groups of people. But yeah, I think he's made it very clear that he is not found of certain people that exude zesty traits whatsoever. All right, moving on. We got Peyton Talbot, another clear James Charles candidate. This dude has been groomed by Frank Ocean. He's been he's been pole dancing since he was a very young age. And yeah, he's like I remember like the UFC set up like a whole reality like a dating TV show for him. And Peyton Talbot just kept hitting on the dudes that were on the camera more than the girls. I find that pretty funny. But yeah, I think that's pretty cool that he's that zesty and he's also like a a good really good fighter who can knock anybody out. And if anything, Peyton Talbot's another example as to why being zesty is one of the best spaces for MMA. All right, moving on. We got Dricus Duplessis. Hey, I only kissed my coaches on the cheek and I kissed Israel Adesanya on the lip because it's South African culture. It's not zesty. Completely different things. Yeah, DDP, I think what I just said kind of explains why he's here. Kissed Israel Adesanya right after their fight on the lips in 4K. And again, kisses his coaches on the cheeks, sometimes on the lips. Yeah, there's a lot to go off. Like the only reason that he's not in the James Charles tier is because he has a very hot wife and he's getting married. He's getting married soon. So I guess there's a clear separation between the two. But I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised later down the line when he turns full on James Charles. But for now, he's just been caught doing Zesty stuff on 4K, so we'll leave him at this tier alone. All right, moving on, we got Jeff Molina. I think this guy's the only one that publicly came out and expressed his homosexual relationships, and he doesn't do anything overtly zesty. It's just that he publicly came out and said he's gay. So I think there's some level of zest to it, but it's not like a John Jones where he's like sniffing other men's hairs, like sexually harassing gay men, and Peyton Talbot where he's like strip dancing on the pole. So yeah, there's levels to this, and I think Jeff Jeff Molina, I think he's just a regular guy outside of just being gay. So there's nothing really to point out about him being necessarily zesty. It's just that he's gay. All right, moving on, we got zesty tendencies. Uh, Sean O'Malley. I think he openly talks about how he lets his friends plow his wife. I think you need to be somewhat zesty in order to do that. I don't think like someone who's like uh the baby level would be allowing other men to plow their wives. I think you have to be kind of zesty to do so. But outside of that, I think he's like openly in a polygamous relationship, so there's that. And I don't know. It's just the fact that he lets his friends mess with his wife. I think that's the only reason he's on this list, and I can't respect that whatsoever. Like he'll beat me up, cool, but he still lets his friends plow his wife, and I find that kind of detestable, to be honest. All right, last but not least, we got Charles Radke. Say it again, brother. Say it again. Charles Radke, similar to Manel Cap, openly hates homosexuals. He also said the F word that will definitely get me canceled on YouTube if I say it. And I think he is a proud American. We'll just call it what it is. I think Charles Radke, he is pretty fun. Like he gets highlight reel knockouts a lot, and it doesn't have to do with anything about like him. openly hating gays. But I think Charles Radke, he is fun to watch, and I don't know. Ever since he said that to I don't know who he said that to specifically, but I know he said it on the same press conference, right? Same event as Manel Cap, which is I think is pretty hilarious. But yeah, overall, I think he's openly expressed his dislike towards the gay people. All right, moving on, we got Michael Morales. Yeah, this dude, he's been caught on camera just flirting with other men in like I don't know what the outfit is. You can describe it, but let's just say he is gay. He is very gay, very zesty, and I think it's pretty cool. He's undefeated. He's like 17 or 18 and 0, I believe, right now, and he gets highlight reel knockouts in the welterweight division. He's like a top contender while being zesty. You know, I, if anything, I find that I find that hilarious. Like if he fights like Colby Covington, or like Colby Covington like openly attacks him for being homosexual, then like I want to see him like slump Colby Covington out on the canvas because that would be one of the most humiliating things to Colby Covington. But yeah, I think that's it's pretty cool. It actually enforces again, once again, the being zesty being the best base for MMA, and I think Michael Morales, he is very zesty. So we'll leave it at that. All right, moving on, we got Mario Bautista. He hasn't done anything overtly zesty. It's just the way he fights. You know, like you had to be kind of molested against the cage or like somewhere in order to fight like the way he does. Like just watch his fight with Jose Aldo. Like Jose Aldo, like I don't know. Like it was a very awkward sight to behold because every time they were on the feet, Mario Bautista was getting lit up. It's just that he primarily just trying to grind against Jose Aldo in a very weird way in order to get the win somehow. But yeah, I think Mario Bautista he is he's been caught on 4K doing stuff like that, and I wouldn't be surprised if he goes full on James Charles mode in the future. All right, moving down the list, we got Ian Machado Gary. Ian Gary, like similar to the Sean O'Malley situation. The difference being, I don't know why Ian Gary actively fantasizes about big black men. Right? He wishes that big black men can plow his wife, and I think that's worse than what Sean O'Malley's doing. Like at least Sean O'Malley. I'm not saying this is better. It's just that like he is actively in a polygamous relationship. Like Ian Garrett, I think he's a loyal husband, whereas his wife is secretly going around and asking Joaquin Buckley or someone like Jamal Hill to like see them on the side. So yeah, I think Ian Gary, certain level of zest. I just hate Ian Gary as well. There is that as well, but I think just the way he behaves is pretty zesty, and I wouldn't be surprised if something comes out about him in the near future. All right, up next we got John Strickland. Uh, Here's the fucking thing, you guys. Being zesty is really bad. You gotta be able to love each other as a man and a woman. For how straight he is, he like talks about gay people a lot. Like not to like a uncomfortable level, Like you don't have to keep talking about gay people every second. But for some reason Sean Strickland does that. He does that a lot. And I think there is some level of he probably experimented one or two things. And overall I think Sean Strickland, yeah, he might have done some things, but I don't think he's full on zesty right now because he's trying to set up a wife and I guess like an actual family. So there's that. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he swings the other way sometimes. All right, moving on, we got Bryce Mitchell. Not a fan of certain types of groups of people. Not just the zesties, but also the the Jews, and just a bunch of people that Bryce Mitchell seems to not like, and it kind of shows, in a lot of his interviews. He's been openly criticizing the degeneracy of the Western world, and fair enough, that is something to criticize. But there are certain things that like he criticizes, just like okay, he's just overtly homophobic. But yeah, I think Bryce Mitchell, he's openly talked about how he feels about, certain groups of people. Like he's like condoning the fact that the big H has burned certain kinds of books because they're from a certain group of people. And overall, I think Bryce Mitchell, he's just dumb. He's sometimes I find him funny, but he is kind of dumb. We'll leave it at that. All right, moving on. We got Isra Adesanya. Yeah, he kissed DDP in the lips after their fight. He paints his nails pink, and for some reason, I, he diddles his dogs a lot. I don't know. I don't know where to not point out the fact that Israel Adesanya is extremely zesty. It's the thing is, he's not as bad as the guys up here when it comes to like overt zestiness. It's just that he's just a lot more zesty than everyone down here. So, I think Israel Adesanya, that's the only reason he's over here. And but other than that, I don't think he's done anything else. It's just that he wanks his dogs, he paints his nails, and he kissed DDP in the lips for some reason. I don't know why he did that, but he went with it. He went with it. And it's not like he has a wife to fall back on like DDP, which is why this dude's in the James Charles tier. All right, moving on. Caught in 4K, we got Conor McGregor. What you saying, brother? I call it, brother. Tasty Short City. All right, I don't know what I'm going with this, but like, I don't think Conor McGregor does this anymore. But for some reason, Conor McGregor, he used to post a bunch of like pictures of himself, like in like a tight ass swim shorts, and just like where his like bulges sticking out. Like, brother, we do not need to see that. I don't know why he's so fixated on that. And like I don't think he's just I don't know why he's posting it, to be honest. Like most of the people that's following him are men. So I don't know what he's trying to uh say in that picture, but like, oh, like I got a bigger bulge than you. All right, like, and it's not that he does it like once in a while. I don't think he does it anymore again, but he's been doing this for a long time. Like there's a whole month or so where he's posted one picture of himself every day doing that shit. And I think that's pretty gay. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but yeah, we just don't need to see that, We don't need to see Conor McGregor's bulge every single day for like a month straight. So yeah, I think he's been caught on 4K, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's experimented with other other sexualities. All right, moving on, we got Armin Sarkarian. Nothing he's done is overtly zesty. It's just the one time he got caught on camera throwing a spinning back kick. Yeah, you ain't breaking the allegations for that one. I think that's the only reason he's here. That genuinely is. I don't think he's even done anything remotely zesty. If anything, most of the time he's just trying to rizz up like needing a drama for some reason and breaking his back in the process. But yeah, overall, Armin Sarkarian, nothing he's done is overtly zesty, other than the fact that he threw that spinning back kick in the like a couple of years ago, I guess. All right, moving on. Zesty tendencies. Umar Nurmagomedov. The picture of the jacuzzi is notorious. But outside of that, yeah, Alhamdulillah, like being zesty is kind of a sin in their culture. And overall, outside of that, he hasn't done anything. It's just the jacuzzi picture, which is kind of sus. But again, nothing wrong with it. It just tells me that he might swing that way. And overall, Umar Nurmagomedov. I don't know. Again, like again, he hasn't done anything like overtly zesty. It's just that there's a photo of him with a bunch of dudes in the jacuzzi for some reason. All right, last but not least, we got Paulo Costa. Paulo Costa, he's an avid Bryce Mitchell supporter. I think that alone explains why belongs on the baby tier. Paulo Costa, I mean, he did let Israel Adesanya like hump him, but I think that's just more of Israel Adesanya being overtly zesty than Paulo Costa kind of accepting it because Paulo Costa did kind of get knocked out prior to that fight. Prior to that, not the fight, but like that incident. What the hell? Wh- Wait, what's going on? All right, sorry about that technical difficulties, but yeah, overall, I think Paulo Costa. He's publicly voiced his opinions out on certain groups of people, similar to Bryce Mitchell. And overall, not a fan of these SD people like Israel Adesanya. All right, that's gonna be it for today's video. Leave a comment down below if I forgot to mention any other zesty fighters that you may know of. Other than that, please give me more ideas. I'm clearly running out of ideas right now, and I want to be able to produce more content for you guys. But yeah, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.